Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I do have the tarot deck already shuffled that we'll be using, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Scorpio, in your recent past, you have hold your vision with the Seven of Swords. Obviously, you have a vision. You have this idea of what you would like your life to be, and I feel like in your recent past with the Seven of Swords, you literally saw no way forward to that. And I feel like that's why you have hold your vision, is this just kind of feels like don't give up on it, even if you don't understand how it's possible or you don't see how you can get there. And that energy, I feel, is, I don't want to say like, when we are trying to create the life that we desire in any form, whether it's in our relationships or in our career or financial situation or health or whatever the case is, there are going to be moments when you experience doubt and your limiting beliefs coming to light. And in those moments, and what you choose to do in those moments is going to determine what it is that you create or how your reality looks in the future. And so it does kind of feel like this is like this reflection almost of your limiting beliefs coming to light, specifically in your recent past. Now, in your current energy, you have the energy is gaining momentum with the Moon card. So right now you're in this energy of fear, or almost the illusion of fear. Like your reality feels like the illusion of your fears being true. But then with the energy is gaining momentum, I feel like there is this background energy of things actually moving forward for you in a way that you aren't able to see or fully understand yet. Because in your immediate future, you are very close to achieving your goal with the Chariot. And I really like this because this is things moving forward to what it is that you desire. So I do feel like you can expect things to progress, but I do feel like at this time you're undergoing a pretty deep personal or spiritual transformation in association with this vision, because the overall theme for the reading is transformation. And so, we typically experience the greatest transformations when we are experiencing the hardest times of our life. That's usually where we're presented with the opportunity to kind of like evolve the most, is when we're struggling the most. So I do feel like you're in a period of struggle or a period of experiencing, fear and doubt, but I also feel like this period has a purpose to help move you forward in ways that you wouldn't be able to if you weren't experiencing what you're going through right now. So let's start, Scorpio, by looking at your recent past. You have hold your vision with the Seven of Swords. Recent past for Scorpio, hold your vision with the Seven of Swords. This is for Scorpio's recent past. I want it to flip all the way over, hit the table. Recent past for Scorpio, hold your vision with the Seven of Swords. This is this way. Okay. And then the Emperor in reverse. Okay. Okay. There is this idea that you have about what your life... Okay. You have this idea of what you want your life to be, what you want it to look like. And then you have this idea of what is actually possible for you. And this idea of what you think is actually possible is very limited. meaning that there is a certain experience that you think you are destined to be able to have that is separate from this life that you desire. And that belief stems from this fact that you don't feel deserving of this life that you do want. And so you kind of, in a subconscious way, have settled for a life that you don't really want, or that you think is as good as it can get for you. That idea, I feel like, is where this reading is going to ask you to kind of dive deep into, because I do feel like with the devil, there's this energy of this kind of like devil energy, like this voice in your head, or this idea that you can't let go of, that like you aren't allowed to be happy, or you aren't allowed to have the love that you deserve, or you aren't allowed to have the abundance that you desire. Like maybe you feel you've missed that opportunity, or since things didn't work out a certain way, that means that things are never going to be as good as they once could have been. You know, that idea is really holding you back from being able to have what it is that you desire. And you are super experiencing this in your recent past. So let's get more for Scorpio's recent past. Recent past for Scorpio, please. Recent past for Scorpio, please. Recent past for Scorpio. This need to change your perspective, because very much lacking hope in your recent past. And not just hope, but like deeper than that. It's not just lacking hope that things can be good. It's almost like this belief that things like stubbornness and believing that things can never be as good as they once were. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, because there's this need to shift your perspective in terms of what it is that you're, lacking hope, but almost like you're steadfast in believing that that you'll never be happy, or things will never work out for you since they didn't work out a certain way, or like unless they worked out a certain way. But that's not true, because the vision that you desire for your life, now taking out specifics, right? It might not be the person that you think it will be that you're in a relationship with. It might not be the amount of money that you fully think you're needing, or whatever the case is, but the vision surrounding it, feeling the love that you desire, being in a relationship with the perfect person for you, experiencing financial freedom, getting to experience the lifestyle that you desire. All of those things are absolutely true. But there's this idea that you have that unless things were a certain way, or since they didn't work out a certain way, that your vision is just like shot. Like there's no hope for it. And that is on a level actually holding you back from being able to have it, which is interesting. Recent past for Scorpio, please. It's like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your vision. Recent past for Scorpio. Recent past for Scorpio, please. The only reason that you have this like almost like hopelessness here is because, moon with the 9 of Wands, is because you don't see how. You don't see how things could ever get better. You don't see the potential, the plan that the universe has in store for you. Now you have the moon with the 9 of Wands. Your biggest obstacle is your fear. Your biggest obstacle is your fear. Fear that you're never going to get there, fear that you'll never be happy, fear that you'll never have what it is that you desire, fear that your vision will never come true. Now, our fear is tricky because it is something that we have to constantly be aware of, but also at the same time make sure that we don't believe. Because your fear is never going to go away. There is always going to be fear. There are always going to be ways that things could go wrong, or ways that, just things to be afraid of. But it does not mean that those fears have to be your reality. In fact, if you live in a place of fear, you're typically living in a place of settling for less than what you deserve. But if you choose faith over fear, that's when you're able to create a better experience for yourself. We often avoid facing our fear by choosing to settle for situations that are less than what we deserve because we think that they're safe. We think, if I do this, I'm never going to get hurt again. Or if I stay in this career that I absolutely hate, but, need to pay the bills, then at least I don't end up homeless on the street. If you're making decisions out of avoiding a fear, you are actually living in fear, and in turn are actually going to attract more things to be afraid of. And I'm not saying that's what you've done or you should be afraid. That's not what this is about. But this is about needing to understand that your vision that you have for your life, if we're going to sum up this energy, the vision that you have for your life is absolutely possible. But if you don't believe that and take divinely guided steps toward it, it's never going to happen. Because the transformation that you desire in your life is going to first have to be a personal transformation. It's got to come from within. As above, so below, as within, so without. What we believe, how we feel on the inside is directly being reflected at us in our reality. And the only way that we can create a different reality for ourselves is if we shift our perspective. And it sounds like, I don't know. I think to a lot of people that sounds backwards because they think that the shift in their reality will change them inside, but that's never the case. You have to change inside for your reality to change outside. Current energy for Scorpio, clarifying the energy is gaining momentum with the moon. Same moon as we have in your recent past, but let's see. Current energy for Scorpio. Oof. Your control is blocking the sun. Okay, Scorpio, this is a straight up hard truth kind of message that in some ways, Scorpio, you're actively choosing your fear. You're choosing not even just less than what you deserve, just choosing lack of fulfillment. But I'm not saying you're doing that consciously, but there's a part of you that doesn't believe that the life that you desire is even possible. So it kind of feels like part of you's given up on it. Maybe not for good. Maybe you haven't totally. But it does. It kind of feels like part of you has given up on your ability to be happy or abundant or fulfilled. But I feel like what you don't realize is that you're facing this opportunity to transform within, which is eventually going to transform outside of you. As long as you don't give up on your ability to experience more and better and what it is that you desire, as long as you don't give up on that, it's going to happen. But I feel like a part of you has given up or wants to give up or feels like you should give up or something. Don't give up. I feel like you're closer than you think. Current energy for Scorpio. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Interesting. Okay, so this Four of Wands, I've never read the Four of Wands this way, but it's definitely what's coming through. This is the life that you desire. Like, just through this kind of like window here is the life that you desire. But you're experiencing the opposite of that right now. The opposite of the life that you desire, which is me making you believe that things are going to be like this forever. One of the things that I have learned on my journey is that things can change overnight. Things can always change like that. There's always an opportunity for things to get better. And oftentimes when we're experiencing kind of like the worst of it, the thick of it, we allow ourselves to believe that that experience is going to last forever, that we're always going to feel that way, that we're destined to experience that energy forever, that, if you look at your past, all of these things have happened, which means they're always going to happen. When we allow ourselves to believe that energy, we actually unknowingly or knowingly create that experience for ourselves. Our expectations of our reality are going to be what creates our reality. Now, on the flip side, what we have experienced has become our expectations. So you have to learn to separate what you have experienced from what you're capable of experiencing, from what you have experienced to what you can't experience. You have to separate those and be able to understand, okay, what have I experienced and what was this trying to teach me? Not why did this happen to me, but why could this have happened for me? What am I here to learn from this experience? And then, once you can kind of learn that, then you can start to say, now I've learned what I need to, which means I have brand new knowledge, brand new wisdom, brand new perspective, which means that moving forward, I can experience different things. Because unless we look at what has happened from this place of what is this trying to teach me, then we will continue to repeat those experiences. We'll have the same relationship with different people. We'll experience the same financial situation, the same feelings and emotions attached to our experience, because the energy behind the experience hasn't changed, because the lesson and the cycle hadn't been learned. And so that's why right now you're going through this transformative period. Your life right now is not a reflection of the life that you are capable of, like the potential that you have. Your life right now is a reflection of your fear and your doubt and your limiting beliefs about your reality. And so right now, instead of saying, I'm going to be stuck like this forever, my life is going to be like this forever, try to say, what is this trying to teach me? How can I evolve from this experience? And facing it that way will create personal growth, which will transform you within, which then naturally will create the transformation outside of yourself. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio, please. There was a tower. Something that happened, a very emotionally charged event that had a lot of pain attached. A tower with the Three of Swords. An emotionally charged event that with a lot of pain attached. And it feels like since this, things have been very stagnant for you. It feels like you're having a hard time recovering from this. Now, this, I don't feel, is trying to prove to you that you can never have what you desire. I feel like this is actually giving you an opportunity to evolve and transform in a way that you wouldn't be able to if this hadn't have happened, so that you can create a better life for yourself. Now, I'm not going to say this is like an easy thing, but here's the Seven of Swords. There is so much you don't know. There's so much you're not able to see. There's so much that you're unaware of, because you're supposed to be right now. If the universe came down and was like, spoke to you, like in human form and was like, Scorpio, if you can get through this, life is going to be great. And you had that proof. well, then you wouldn't face fear. You wouldn't face doubt. You wouldn't face insecurity. You wouldn't face all of the things that you need to face in order to get to the other side of this. So what you're experiencing right now isn't a punishment. I feel like it probably feels like that because things are heavy and dark, and that energy can be very powerful and consuming, but it's what you're going through is not a punishment. If you allow it to be an opportunity, I feel like it can transform your life in miraculous ways. I really, truly believe that for you, Scorpio. But I do feel like it's up to you to face it from that perspective. Immediate future for Scorpio, you're very close to achieving your goal with the Chariot. I feel like this is seriously that energy of like, don't give up. You're closer than you think. Immediate future for Scorpio. It's like what you desire is on the other side of this transformation. So don't focus on what it is that you're experiencing. Focus on how you can change your experience by changing your inner environment. Immediate future for Scorpio. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. All the way around or hit the table. Immediate future for Scorpio. Hit the table and turned all the way around. All right, 4 of Cups, 5 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, you got to step outside the trigger. And it's a hard freaking thing to do because the trigger is emotional. And, you're, like I said, right now, you're in this energy of your experience reflecting fear and doubt to you, right? So that fear and doubt that you're experiencing, if you allow it to, you're going to start to look at it as this is true, this is my reality, this is all I can experience. But in your future and as you move forward from this point on, the universe is asking you to shift perspective from what's right in front of you to a little bit of a bigger picture. It's almost like getting to the top of the mountain and you can see that things are way different than when, what they look like when you're in the middle of them. And usually a lot prettier, right? A lot beautiful. There's a lot more beautiful. There's a lot more, to the bigger picture perspective. And so that's kind of what this is asking you to do, because if you looked at this just as like from a basic level, and I don't want you to take this as me invalidating your feelings, because I'm not saying that you are not valid in feeling the way that you do, but if you looked at this from the universe's perspective, it's that you are just working through resistance to your abundance. We resist our own abundance with our own fear, our own doubt, and our own insecurity. And in order to, face and work through that resistance, we have to literally in real time face our fear and our doubt and our inner insecurity. Almost like a video game, if you think of it that way. Obviously, you're not a video game. You are a human being with very real human emotions and very real complicated belief systems. And so I'm not trying to shrink your experience or anything like that, but I am trying to give you a little bit of hope and trying to see the bigger picture here, because I do feel you're closer than you think. But I feel if you want to get to where you're trying to go, you can't give up on yourself. You can't give up on the life that you desire, and you have to allow yourself to see what you need to see about your current experiences so that you can experience better and different. It's almost like you're focused so much on these empty cups. Like the universe is trying to bring you this full cup, but you're focused so much on these empty cups down here. On what isn't working, what hasn't gone right, what you have lost, instead of the opportunity of what could be in your future. And trust me, I get it. There is no shame in that. We have all been there. But being able to step outside of that perspective can give you insight that can move you forward in pretty big ways. Why didn't I take that card? All right. Immediate future for Scorpio. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Immediate future for Scorpio. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Okay. 8 of Pentacles in reverse and the Temperance with the 6 of Swords. You need to moving forward, you need to take some pressure off of yourself. I feel as if you're being very hard on yourself for mistakes that you have made in ways that you have not been perfect, and therefore in ways that you've been human. A lot of times we look at our mistakes as, if I hadn't have made that mistake, then I would be happier. But in reality, that mistake, you had to experience that mistake. You had to experience that lesson, because your soul's here to learn lessons, and the mistakes that we make are here to teach us lessons. The only way that you're going to stay stuck in the cycle of that mistake is if you don't learn from it. So being able to learn from it on a deeper level without holding yourself to the guilt and the shame associated with the mistake, or with ways that you weren't perfect, or with ways that you've messed up, is the only way to move forward. It's almost like with the temperance, because that's a card of patience. It's be a little bit more patient with yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. You are a human being, Scorpio. You are going to make mistakes. If you are not making mistakes, then you are not living a life. And being able to be okay with making mistakes and learning from those mistakes is the only way for you to grow and evolve. If things were perfect all the time, if you were perfect all of the time and you never messed up and those mistakes never had consequences, you would literally never learn. You would never grow. There wouldn't be a point. And so there's this need to almost let go of this, I don't know if it's perfectionism or past mistakes that led to certain things, or whatever the case is, and understand that you were meant to make those mistakes. You made them. There's nothing you can do about that except for learn from them and move forward, because what you lost, or how you feel these mistakes affected your life in a negative way, those things can return. You can have love and joy and abundance. All of those things can come back into your life, but you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to undergo the personal transformation before the material, physical transformation takes place. Immediate future for Scorpio. Don't give up. Closer than you think. I feel like I just have to keep saying that for you. It's probably going to be the title of this video. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Okay. This is adding on to the last message, but it's also a separate message. Yes, be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace for the ways that you've messed up, but also be willing to make the changes associated with making sure that you don't make those same mistakes again. That's the biggest thing. Because there might be some things about your life that you know need to change, or about your habits, or about your mindset, or whatever the case is, but there's this aspect of kind of resisting change a little bit, which is understandable. Change is freaking scary. It's where your ego has the least amount of control, which therefore is going to it's going to spark the most amount of fear in you. But if you are willing to make changes, because one of the things that I had to learn in my own journey was, if you wake up every day and you do the same things and you have the same mindset and you invest in the same way, you are going to have the same problems, the same experiences, and the same outcomes. Unless you are willing to change your approach, unless you're willing to change your mindset, unless you are willing to change how you essentially how you interact with your reality, then your reality won't change. So you have to be willing to do those things and to make those personal transformation things that you need to do in order to actually change your reality. A lot of people think that manifestation is just, I'm going to say all of these affirmations and I'm going to make this vision board and then my life is going to change. No. Manifestation is providing you with the opportunity to create whatever it is that you desire. And that comes with that tricky balance of following divine guidance and surrendering to the universe, doing what you can't for yourself. But that within that self is making changes that you need to make that are probably pretty uncomfortable, because the changes are uncomfortable because you've never experienced them before. But if you take actions that you've never done before, if you choose to approach from a different perspective, well, then the reality is going to be different. So being aware of maybe what it is that you need to do, how you need to change your approach, what you need to change, what you're investing in, so that you can experience different. This isn't about you being stuck and experiencing this current reality. This is just you undergoing a transformation of self so that the transformation of reality can take place. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much as always for your support of my channel. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We just went over what you need to know right now. This extended is going to be clarifying, diving into the cards deeper, and focusing on what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. And as always, Scorpio, I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Scorpio.